As soon as you say Kyle, I hear 23. It could also be February.
His birthday's on February 23rd.
Okay.
And so is my grandson and my daughter, yeah.
They're both on the 23rd?
February 23rd.
Both?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The date, the 223, got me.
I want to go with the month of January as well.
It's his birthday.
It's his birthday. Okay, so he's just throwing in little information like, Mom, I'm here. Because he's like, listen, she believes it, but she really wanted to know, like, is this some shit? Like, is this really... He stands right here and he has tattoo. Did he have what, arm tattoos? On both arms?
Yes.
Okay, that's how he's showing.
Yeah.
And he's showing me in a white tee. I feel like I'm a cool guy. I feel like I'm cool. And he's also showing, and he's saying, I used to smoke cigarettes. And he's also showing his hair is like a buzz cut. That's how he's presenting.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that it was like that his whole life, but he's showing a very short haircut.
Yeah,
That's how he looks.
Yeah.
Okay. He's making me feel like he died at a very young age. And he's making me feel like it was an accident. They are showing me like pills or like medicine bottles, prescription pills is what I'm being shown. How do you connect with that?
He died of a fentanyl overdose.
Overdose? Okay. He's saying 3 years. He's attributing to you feeling this way for the past 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
Or if he died 3 years ago, what is...
Yeah. He died 3 years ago.
He died 3 years ago? Okay. He makes me feel, okay, I understand. I lost consciousness. Also, and I apologize if this is a lot. It's just I feel like it's coming through for validation for you, and I'm just gonna say it. What I'm being shown is I feel like there's something with my mouth, like there's foam or there's something coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
How do you connect with that?
The biggest question I've had about his death, when I found him, like my brain kept everything real blocked. Okay, like I remember seeing his hands, I remember seeing his eyes and the color of his eyes staring at the ceiling. And someone had told me that was my brain trying not to see the whole picture. When I was telling Tyler about it, he's like, "Don't put it together." I'm like, it's already together. But Kyle's mouth was full of black stuff, all the way to the tips of his lips. It just one little string, and I kept asking everybody in a panic. You know, is that normal for an overdose? Does that happen after they die? I was so afraid that he choked and was laying there unable to move, and because his eyes were wide open, like, you know, so afraid that he was stuck like that and not able to breathe and choking on it.
There was a moment when she talked about my son's mouth. A lot of my information is out in the world. That is not. So that really, that validated a lot for me. And
I want to tell you this, 100%.
I've asked people everywhere.
What you saw, his soul already left his body. He was not in pain. I'm telling you, he was not in pain. He's saying, tell my mom I was not in pain. He lost consciousness way before that.
I have a feeling I know when he lost. I know it sounds weird.
No, it's not weird. It's not weird, and the feeling is right. Yeah. He's also bringing up motorcycles too.
Yeah. Me and my husband ride.
Okay. That's just validation too that he's there with you. We're talking about him as a child playing baseball.
Yeah.
Okay. He's just bringing back little space. And there's a picture he's bringing to my awareness of him literally being young in baseball, like a baseball suit or a baseball outfit. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm very young and I'm holding it.
I know exactly what picture.
The picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
I lost a lot of my pictures. Well, my brother lost a lot of my pictures, but...
You're like, it was my brother. So
yeah.
It was my brother.
Yeah. Hey, you can keep your stuff in my storage. It's fine. You don't have to rent your own.
Okay. He's just bringing that photo up just to validate to you more. It makes me feel like you sometimes in the back of your head worry that one of your other children may go down the road of the path that he did. Like, is that a fear of yours?
That's Tyler.
That's Tyler.
Yeah.
So he's making me feel like you do have like this, like in the back of your head, like, is he gonna be like Kyle? He's saying my mom has valid worries.
Yeah.
There's things that I'm getting chills. There's things that you see in your son, Tyler, you said, that kind of like mirror in a way that you saw in Kyle. And you say things to Tyler and you voice your concerns. He is annoyed slightly.
Yes.
Okay. And so this is your son validating. He's there. He witnesses this. He's by your side, and he says he wants to validate your concerns. That's not to say something scary is going to happen, but you're not crazy, you're not making it up. But the message that is really coming through is, I want to say he's safe, meaning your son, Tyler. And this is going to, I don't know how to say this other than how it's going through. It's very much this feeling of, Mom, if you worry your days endlessly and you're constantly thinking that something is going to happen to Tyler like it did to me, you're not living your life presently. There's this feeling of like, I just need her to pour the happiness out into life, because he makes me feel like ever since he passed, it's like, yeah, you know, you show up, it's like a smile that's like really behind the smile is a lot of pain and tears, and you're just going through the motions. And he's like, my mom had such a full, fun life when I was there. She did everything. Like she, you know, she was doing all the things, she was happy. And then when I was gone, which is understandable, it's like your life stopped.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, he's like, I don't want my mom to worry about Tyler and worry about like every decision and choice he makes, because at the end of the day, he's saying he's grown and he knows. Okay, I understand. He's saying that his brother, whether or not he said this to you or not, and it makes me feel like he hasn't, he understands the impact that Kyle's death had on you,
yes.
and he would never do that to you. And that plays in the back of his head. And so
yeah,
I need
there's
to,
a lot with them too, and both of their dads, they had several dads, both their dads died of heroin overdoses. Actually, he was starting to panic. Don't put it together. You know, he didn't want me to put everything together in my mind, but I know he felt what I felt.
validating to you the fact that Tyler, he knows, like he's very aware of like, I can't have my mom lose another child.
Right.
Okay.
Oh,
So
I told them all.
okay. But just
They would
know,
kill me.
just know that he doesn't take that lightly. So even if his choices and decisions scare you and you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
He has you, you're his mom in the back of his head. And he thinks about his brother all the time.
He just said, psychedelics, Mom, come join me.
Yeah. Because Tyler, the way that Kyle is making me feel is he respects and loves you too much and loves life to ever, it's almost like I have a sense of like, yeah, he may do some risky things, but he knows his limits.
Right.
But then in the same breath, playing devil's advocate, it's like, Kyle makes me feel like,
Sorry.
I didn't think that like, you may know your limits, but then something happens,
Right.
you know? And so he's acknowledging that. He's also saying, you know, I just want to say I'm sorry, because he's saying you told him over and over again, like, you've got to stop. Like, this is what happened to your, like, you know, so-and-so mom. He's like, he makes me feel like he was just like really funny.
Yeah.
Like the talking shit kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like would make fun of you,
Mhm.
but like, and everyone was
yes.
laughing. Like he would walk in and like, people were happy that he was there. Like he was the life of the party.
Yes. I don't realize it so much so until he's gone.
Yeah.
That he was kind of the
star of the show
yeah,
with like
and
personality.
the thing of the family that, you know, there's a dynamic missing from the family.
Yeah.
You know?
He says, but I'm always with you. He's like, my physical body's not there, but my soul lives through you, Mom. You suffer from anxiety or like panic attacks often?
More so now.
Okay, I'm wanting to tell you because I just heard tell her to just breathe.
Yeah, when sometimes the sight of him that morning, especially, like it'll just pop into my head all by itself, and it literally takes my breath away.
And he says, breathe.
Yeah.
That's literally all I heard was like, tell her to breathe. He's saying, walk outside and breathe and go on a walk, and know that when you're walking and you're taking those breaths, with every breath that you take, he literally makes me feel that he's always with you, always by your side. He's like, Mom, if you have to go on a walk, like, there's something with walking. He's like, go on a walk. He's like, clear your head, go to the park.
We used to hike all the time.
Okay, then that's just validation to you. And he's like, he's like, but don't stop doing those things, because it makes me feel like you don't do it as often.
Yeah, no.
But he's saying, go do that.
Because I always took his kids, and they actually moved away about 6 months ago without even saying anything. Until I seen the moving truck pull away.
He's saying my death caused a lot of domino effects. And he really steps forward with a huge apology to you specifically, because he's saying the moment that I died, it literally felt like your life fell apart. And you went from having and living this one life where everyone was connected and everything was intertwined and everything was fine, and then my son dies and nobody wants to, like, it just all fell apart. And he's like, Mom, I'm sorry. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I did
Family was a big thing for him. Family connection.
And he says, like, I realized what happened. And he's like, but I just need you to know that none of this was your fault. I made these decisions myself. I was a grown man. I heard you. He's like going like this with his finger, almost like you were like, you know, she told me over and over again.
And I actually, you know, I work with a lot of groups now, and, you know, a lot of moms are in denial and always say, no, my son chose that drug. You know, I don't go after the dealer because my son sought that out. You know, I can't place blame elsewhere. You know, my son chose to do what he did because he liked it, and not because someone was forcing it on him or selling him a pressed pill, or, you know, he chose that.
You know, as you say that, there's a direct connection to what you just said and your purpose. Because there are other moms that have, and I'm sure you've witnessed it or you will, that are going to be along your path if they're not already, where they are going to have what you said, the denial, and you were like, nope. It's almost like you're there to set them straight.
Right.
And so as horrible as this was, he's literally like, Mom, my death was horrible. It caused a lot of chaos and craziness, but there's purpose from it. And he's like, I'm telling you, and he's like, I need you to tell my mom that, do you question your, like, because there's this feeling of like you taking the experience and the loss of your son and sharing it to change the perspective of other people who also go through it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's like,
I've had them on billboards and glass that's engraved with mine and Kyle's face in it.
I
lights
know what
up.
that is. Oh, I love those.
Yeah.
Really quick, do you have a famous soup that you make? Or something with a soup?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah? What is that?
Paprikash.
Okay, because he's like talking about the soup. My mom's soup's the shit. Like, I love the soup.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, his son tried to get him to make it I lived in Florida. Kyle started having issues. I moved to South Carolina. That's when we were neighbors.
Yeah.
To help. And then he moved to Florida. And I'm like, So then I moved back to Florida. And that lapse of time, his son was like, I think I can make it. I helped Grandma. You know, and he's like, no, you'll wait for Grandma to get here.
So special.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, every time I do these readings, I get more and more amazed because one little word, soup, means everything to you.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's like really, he gives you a kiss on that cheek. He just kissed you. He says, I'm in heaven, Mom. And he says it in a way where it's like, fine, you were right. I'm in heaven. And he says, but don't get too, He says, but don't, how do I say this? Don't try to get here too soon.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say this, at times, and it's okay, he makes me feel like there are thoughts that have crossed your mind where it's like, what's the point of being here?
Yeah.
And he's saying, please don't. This comes through so strong. He says, so many people need you here, and you have a life worth living. He just says, please don't. Because he's saying that it's a reoccurring thought sometimes where you're just like, it'd be a lot easier if I wasn't here. And he's saying, no, that's not true. He says the same domino effect of chaos and craziness that happened when I died would happen times 10 if you were gone. And he's saying so many people need you, and if you ever question why I had to go, look at all the people that you're helping. And he's saying the people that you're helping, you have no idea, you won't know until you're no longer here. Because the purpose that we have in people's lives, no, stop, don't be sorry. The purpose that we have in people's lives, like sometimes like we're literally not even gonna know until we're no longer here.
Right.
It can be as little as literally saying hi. It can be so small, okay? And so that's the message I need to tell you. Like, even if you think like, okay, like I'm sharing my message, I'm sharing the story of my son, like you really don't know how many lives you're touching, especially when I talk about like other women that have lost.
I really want to start a support group.
Do it.
Because that was something very difficult through it. Is nobody knows that pain. I thought I knew what I feared as far as losing a child. It's nothing like you even think it would be. It's so much worse. You can't compare it to anything because there's nothing like it. It doesn't ever get easier. You know, I've had people say, "Oh, it's been 3 years. That's an awful long time grief." Not when it's your child. And I was worried about that actually when he died. I'm like, oh my God, am I going to be one of these crazy people? 25 years. And then I see people in these grief groups that are posting just like I would post, you know. And then at the end it would say it's been 25 years. I'm like, oh my God, it is going to be forever. You know. But you have no one to talk to because nobody understands. Losing a child is a very lonely place to be because not only do other people not understand your feelings, you don't either. And you don't know what's to come or, you know, what to expect or is what you're feeling normal or, you know, and you can't ask anybody unless they've lost a child. They just don't know. There's nothing that compares to it. And I feel like, you know, people are like, oh, maybe you should go see a counselor. Why? They haven't lost a child. What are they going to tell me? You know, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
But if I would have had, you know, I seriously considered a support group, but then the ones that were available near were no longer.
Create it.
Yeah,
Start it.
I really
And
wanna do
that's
that.
just another part of being in purpose, you know.